Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Litchfield zoning for June 20th. Call vote. John Burnell, present.
John Devereaux, present.
Kyle Durso, present.
Jeff Blackwell, building inspector.
Okay. I don't have any open remarks. Obviously, we're at a light crew tonight, just 3 members. We do need to appoint Kyle. He's an alternate member. So all in favor? Aye. So Kyle, you'll participate tonight as a full member? Yes. Comment?
No.
Okay.
Nothing. Sorry.
All right, so we have a few cases. The first couple of cases, and I don't see Renee here. So I'm going to make a motion. We just defer to the next meeting, which, do you know what the date is, Jeff? Next one?
It's July 18th.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm going to make a motion that because Renee Lefthrow is not present tonight, and we are aware that he would like a full board to be in present for the hearing. So I'll make a motion. We're going to defer case 2/21-2022-1, case 4-18/18/2021-22-1, case 4/18/2022-2, and case 4/18/2022-3 and -4 to the next business meeting, which will be July 18th.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
So that's 5 cases moved to July 8th.
Correct.
Okay.
Seeing that we have one active case which this gentleman's here for, but we'll hold off 1 second. We got a letter from Prunier and Pullman. I can't even say Andrew's last name, sorry. Anyway, letters were sent to Chairman Gandier regarding 443 and 449 Charles Bancroft Highway ZBA case 6/2022-2-3 and -4. Dear Chair Grandier and members of the board, in light of the likely lack of 5 board members and the lengthy agenda ahead of us, on behalf of Mel's Funway Park LLC and the Whitney Realty Trust, I respectfully request that the board continues our case until August 15th, 2022.
August 15th. Okay.
Sincerely, Andrew Pullman. I'll make the motion. We accept the continuous to August 15th, 2022.
I'll second it.
Discussion. At least it's a light agenda next meeting.
Yeah, it's better.
All in
Christopher.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, so motion passes. So we'll put him on August 15th.
Gotcha.
All right, perfect. So Mr. Cochran, step on forward. So let me just read this. So the case we have before us right now is going to be case 6/20/2022-1, a variance for the LZO Article 1500, Section 1503, to permit a sign greater than 2 square feet in the size within the residential district. The applicant is Mark Cochran. The property owner is himself also. The property is located at 325 Charles Bancroft Highway in Litchfield, map 15, lot 14 and 15. We have an application. The butters have been all notified. All fees have been paid, I believe, yes. And sir?
All right. Well,
Present
thank
your
you for
case
having me
to the board.
today. Again, my name is Mark Cochran. I'm a Litchfield West resident now for 12 years. I purchased that property about 6 months ago. The intention of that property is for it to be a Christmas tree farm with pumpkins out front. So I've completed phase 1 of planting in the front half of that property, the first 5 acres, 1,200 Christmas trees, and then about 1,500 pumpkin seeds in the front portion of that property. So I'm here today, as you mentioned, to ask for a change request on the variance for the sign. I'm going to go through these questions here on that list. Okay. Starting with the first one, variance request is requested for section 1503.02 the zoning ordinance for the following reasons. I think currently it's set by 2 feet by 2 feet. I'm asking for a 2 feet by 6 foot sign for itself. Below the sign will be a 3 foot lettering, 3-stack lettering underneath that. It'll be set on 4x4 post, pressure treated posts. The setback, on the setback, I listed 12 feet from the road. Based on New Hampshire DOT, it's actually 33 feet from the center lanes. So I'll be going by the New Hampshire DOT required setbacks for the sign installment. It'll not be illuminated. It'll be double-sided sign. Number one, the variance will not be contrary to the public interest because it falls within the guidelines of agricultural commerce with the same look and feel as the size of other farm signs in Litchfield per 1500.01, which provides information environment and complements the character of the zoning district. Number two, the spirit of the ordinance is observed because it will not threaten the health, safety, or welfare of the general public. The farm sign will enhance traffic safety entering the property from 3A. Substantial justice is done because fairness to the owner to allow for an agricultural commerce sign similar to the other farm signs, as I mentioned earlier, in Litchfield. And the values surrounding the properties are not diminished because this adheres to current agricultural farm use. And then the final piece, the use is to identify the location of the farm and to promote the entrance to enable proper traffic flow. I just want to add to this, I thought a lot about traffic. The plan is to allow for traffic flow to come in a one-way direction, counterclockwise around the farm to enhance that flow coming in, to not abut traffic coming and going from the farm. So we'll go around the tree farm, the first 5 acres, one-way direction with parking in the middle section where the tent's going to be, and also along the path around the tree farm. The road will be wide enough to allow for both parking and for driving around the farm itself. There'll be no structures built on this property. The trees that I have planted will take about 8 to 10 years to grow before they can harvest. So there's an expectation of any traffic increase in the next 8 to 10 years. I'll have a very small 10 by 12 temporary tent. And temporary, I mean by it'll be there for about 6 weeks. It'll be set up and take down after the season's over. The season's going to be from mid-October until about mid-December. I'll have the pumpkin season going on for a few weeks. I'll shut down after the end of October, after Halloween, reopen again at the end of November in time for the Black Friday weekend, and open again and keep that open until mid-December for those following 6 weeks. Weekends only, and the hours will vary for those weekends. I guess any questions so far?
Any questions? No.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You want to go over any of the items on the map as far as the plantings or the parking, or?
This property is between Hillcrest and Pinecrest on 3A, right? Middle, right in the middle of it.
Yes.
Just south of McQueston.
This is Southland question.
Yeah.
Jeff, and my question is, the residential district that's in question here, how far does that extend? And do any of the existing facilities?
You can see it on that map right behind you.
Yeah, it's pretty large.
It's huge, yeah.
It's
Yeah, we're not on edge.
So he's right here somewhere.
Yeah, he's close. Yeah.
So right around this area?
yeah.
Yep.
And so
Yeah, he's right here.
okay, so the district is the whole length?
All the yellow, all the yellow.
That's so it's all, okay.
That's all.
right. So
Right.
my question was going to be, for the sign that's being asked to be constructed,
Mhm.
how does it compare to what's already existing today? Up and along that road?
We got a McQueston sign right there.
Yeah, the closest would be the McQueston
That's what I'm
sign.
saying. I think it's a fairly large sign. too.
Exactly. I just went on the.
Yeah, I was just doing the same thing going, but I couldn't find like where. Oh, wait, I can't. Where's McQueston? I get lost when I start doing street views.
Yeah.
You'll have Wilson's farm stand.
Yeah.
That sign is there.
Yeah, I think Wilson's is larger than this sign. I think McQuestion's is probably the exact same size I'm planning. I think theirs is also 2x6, and then they have the letters as well below. That's also 3 feet. So I think mine is pretty equal to McQuestion's sign.
Did you go through the 5 points?
You did.
I did.
Okay. It was quick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You got a copy?
I
You
did not bring
want
your
to take a
copy.
quick look at this?
Yeah,
This is
actually,
the
that'd be
live
good.
Do you want to elaborate on any of those items on the questions?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions on it.
Yeah. My question was if there's any comparable signs.
Okay.
In that district, and we answered that one.
And Jeff, what's allowed again in the residential area from a size perspective?
2 square feet,
So 1 by 1.
1 by 2,
Oh, yeah, okay.
2-sided, 1 by 2. Yep.
Could you reiterate the 5th item? Enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. Can you explain that one a little bit?
The way I kind of interpreted that question was, I was thinking about this from a traffic flow perspective, as far as how am I going to impact traffic to that area. One thought was by not having a sign there, folks might back in or turn around in other folks' driveways, other residential driveways, and impact some harm in that respect. Whereas having a sign, they'll be able to see it coming from both north and south directions and see it clearly and be able to enter in properly without impacting other folks. So my interpretation was to identify that location, help folks understand where I'm located, since I am a new farm business with no advertising. They're going to not know where I'm at. So there might be some confusion as far as misunderstanding where I'm at compared to McQuestion's or other tree farms in the area.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure.
Any other questions?
I'm good on my end.
So that's right. We're gonna close your input.
Okay.
We'll deliberate a little bit more. Probably ask Jeff some more questions, and then we'll make our decision.
Was there any butter feedback? Do you know?
None of the records, the butters were notified. I'm not aware of any communications. They were all sent appropriately to all the different butters. I mean, assuming most of these butters are also farmers and signs around. So
That's true.
and I know, Jeff, when I talked to you this afternoon about it, one thing I didn't realize is how close he was in regards to McQuestion.
Mm-hmm.
So the question, do we know if any other farms have any variances because of the signs they have?
I
Or they
do
just
not
been-
know
they've just
because,
been extended
right,
there.
because I'm not sure how old the signs are. So if they would have been in place prior to the zoning ordinance.
Do you know when the zoning one was put, this one was put
No,
in
I
place?
didn't bring my book. You can grab it if you
I
want.
have it here. I don't see the date though.
Right.
When it was put in place,
Yeah. Actually, see, it's just noted on the top of it, maybe.
How large is the tree farm acre wise?
It's the property is 11.5 acres. It's probably a good 5 acres of that is considerable for plantings. The other 6 acres or so are probably wetlands, which will remain untouched. It's on the far back side of the property. So again, I'll only be planting in the mowed area, which is the front, I guess, say 4 or 5 acres.
This property is part of the the open space plan off of the Firefly subdivision.
Okay.
So this is the lot that was dedicated for
It's been
conservation, right? So just open, yep.
Interesting.
So that's why the use is limited basically to agricultural.
Good.
Not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we still would have to deliberate.
Okay.
We're still
I don't know if you need me to
deliberating.
leave the room or.
Oh, no, you don't
Okay.
go anywhere. It's public meeting.
Yeah, I just can't interact at this point.
Okay.
That's all. Unless we actually ask you a direct question.
Sure.
All right, so let's go through the questions, I guess. So the variance is not contrary to the public interest, and because, do we agree with his assumption or his statement?
Yeah, what's interesting is 1 and 5 are very similar because it's not contrary. 5 is the hardship. The concept is that this situation, this property is being leveraged as a farm, not so much on residential. And the ordinance is really based on
Residential.
having to keep everybody 1 acre apart, having these huge signs in the front of their yard. Because it's a larger property with farm agricultural use, it makes sense that a sign larger would be useful. So I think they're correlating quite well, and I would agree with their discussions or the argument.
And furthermore, I think that, it's in the, it's residential, but it's in that kind of farm part of
The farm
town.
district,
And there's
absolutely,
one right
yes.
across the street. There's people moving at, higher speeds than a residential neighborhood. So I think a sign is beneficial. And
What's interesting is it is close enough to McQuestion that they're already getting that farm sign slow down, there's stuff going around the corner and stuff. So that actually it's in a pretty good spot.
All right, so 2, the spirit of the ordinance is an observance. I mean, I personally think it's the agricultural use case. I'm really concerned about the residential district part of it, and that's a flat out no. That's why you had to do the denial. But based on what's around him, it makes sense to have it allowed.
Yeah, this is a unique situation for the property.
All right, 3, substantial justice is done because, I mean, it basically allows him to use the property as agricultural like he's trying to. The sign is more, in his mind, it's more of a safety issue to be, so people know where
That's
it
true.
is.
I agree.
and he's keeping it outside or the NHDOT requirements for the offset from the center line of the road. So I think that's important.
Yep.
And moving on, so we're in agreement with 3. Then 4 is values surrounding the properties are not diminished because, again, I think it's agriculture. People are expecting it. It's a farm environment. I don't think it deters or diminishes anything. And we already talked about 5, so. All right. Mark, you understand that even if we give you the variance, you still have to go in front of the planning board, and they can
Yes.
still deny your plan and make you
Understand.
adjust it, and they could get you go back right down forward, down to 0 to, down to a 1/2, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Jeff, any comment?
No?
Anything you can advise whether we deny or approve?
No, I think you covered all the aspects that we were talking about, we considered.
All right, I'll make a motion. The case 0620/1 325 Charles Bancroft Highway, Map 15, parcels 14 and 15, that we grant the variance for ordinance number 1500 and 1503. Does that make sense, Jeff? Those are the 2, or is it 1503-2?
Well, 1503.2.0.02.
So adjusted. Do I have a second?
Second that.
Any discussion?
Do we want to grant the sign grade on the discussion there with the understanding that it's put, or do we allow that the planning board to work out the details of that?
There's, or as shown in the application, because that has the sign dimensions. So
Yeah, it's 2x6, right?
2x6, but then it has
With
the
lettering on the below it.
Sides.
Plus 3x6.
plus 3x6.
I mean, I guess I would add this, the requirement says that doesn't go beyond
Doesn't
this.
exceed that.
Beyond what's
I
shown
think
in the
that's a good
application.
idea.
If the planning board decides they want to make it smaller because that's their prerogative, then that's their prerogative.
Sure.
I would just say we will accept as laid out,
Yeah, to not exceed what was described.
and I'll add that in the finding.
That would be good.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 0. So 3-0-0. So you have your variance. Like I said, you still got to go back in front of the planning board. They're going to be the viable arbiter whether you get that size or smaller, or they decide, or they may put other restriction on you.
Okay. And that's next month, the planning board meeting?
We'll get you in discussions with
Okay.
Joan, and she'll get that scheduled with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
you have to
good.
know, I think they'll notify the butters too then, or they'll come in first hearing and then
Yeah, there's a whole nother
it's
process.
a whole nother
Right.
process.
There is a 30-day
Yeah,
Appeal
that's true.
quiet period, right?
Yeah, so this 30, you have 30, you have, because of the variance, you have 30, you have to wait 30 days. Otherwise, if you do, you can
That's
be
what I
paid to
assumed.
take it back down.
Yeah.
So, because you have to go in front of the planning board anyway,
Right.
you've got a 30
Probably going to be
window.
okay, right?
Yeah.
The fact that no butters reached out, you're probably fine with that from regards to our motion, but wait the 30 days.
Okay.
And talk to the planning board and go the next steps.
Okay.
All right.
And do you recall, Jeffrey, did I pay for that portion yet? Just this piece, right?
Not that I'm aware of. no.
Okay.
Joan will handle all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get involved with
Okay. Sounds good.
any of the application process.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a good
All
night.
right. You too.
Let's see, next business. Gentlemen, have anything else?
All set.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Pretty good. Good
Thank you
job,
for
Tom.
attending. Have a good night.